Hi, I am glad to welcome you. Finally, the most interesting part of the course begins. Do you feel anxiety? This is normal. The first approach always evokes a lot of emotions. But keep in mind that you already have all knowledge you need, and I'll walk you through the process step by step. We have already analyzed the general shape of the head and its parts, as well as individual differences in the large shape and face parts. Now we use everything together. Afraid to start? Then you can just watch the video and later on go back to the beginning and try to repeat the drawing step by step. This time we'll be using for the portrait entire page of our A5 sketchbook. The sketchbook we hold vertically. So let's start. First we do markup for the head. Using the edge of the notebook I draw the middle line, then I outline the height of the circle, its middle and width. After drawing a horizontal middle line, I draw the circle itself piece by piece. I use a strip of paper to check up the circle and correct it where it's necessary. Now I put half the height of the circle down and mark the chin level. I connect the chin with arcs to the side of the circle. The general scheme is ready. It's time to mark up parts of the face. In the middle I draw the line of the eyes and divide it into 5 equal parts. I find the level of eyebrows and mark the level of base of the nose in the middle between the eyebrows and the chin. A little closer to the nose I mark the line of the mouth. I mark the width of the base of the nose and the width of the mouth. This is a scheme we draw for any face. Complicated? In my opinion, very simple. And now we can start working on a portrait of a particular person. For the first portrait I choose a person with remarkable facial features. We will go through all the facial parts, step by step, marking the distinguishing features of our model. First of all, it should be noted that the nose is much smaller in height than the markup scheme. In addition, it is much wider at the base. The eyes fit into scheme. The outer and inner corners are on the same level. The side lines at the top of the bridge are very clearly visible. The wings of the nose are located above the middle of its base. The tip of the nose is raised high and very wide. Let's outline the wings of the nose and nostrils, as well as the nasolabial folds and eyebrows. It's time to draw the lower jaw shape. Its corners are at the level of the mouth line. From the corners upwards, the jaw lines go in arcs concave inside the head. Let's draw the outer lines of the ears. Now it's time to draw the lips. An eraser with a sharp tip is indispensable for portrait sketching. Sometimes a small shift in line thickness can change the character of a face part. Above the upward curved line of the mouth, I draw the arc of upper lip, and in the middle, with a small backward arc, draw the line of the philtrum. And this arc shape will be repeated in the middle of the mouth line. With an arc looking downward, I draw the line of the lower lip. Under the lower lip, I mark the fold that separates it from the chin. The iris circles in the eyes are cut off by the lines of the eyelids both above and below. The eyes are narrowed. The wrinkles around the eyes definitely are important. I'll draw the eyebrows and make the eye sockets a little darker in order to get an impression of deep-set eyes. Now the general outline of the face is ready, it's time to go to the details. This is the most pleasant part of the drawing. In the ears, I outline inner parts, the helix lines, the ear cavity, and that's it. Some of the details are not visible to us in the front view. Now I outline the cheekbone lines and from them down the folds on the cheeks which cross the line of the lower jaw and go below. From the cheekbones upward there go lines concaved inward. Let's draw the wrinkles. I add the neck and folds of the collar because a head without a neck looks strange. Let's draw a cup. The visor of the cup is shifted a little to the side. On the top of the cup there are three folds looking like waves. It is important that the contour lines of the cup do not cross the brain case line. If the lines of the cup go inside the head, then the head will also look crumpled together with the cup. On the cup we can add seam lines. I'll add wrinkles on the forehead. On and under the visor I'll add a shadow, not in full tone, just lightly. Also I will lightly shade the ears with even shading to make them less contrasting, so that they fade into the background. The ears' outlines have to be not strong too. The strongest contrast should be on the details of the face that are closer to us. Eyes, nose, mouth. In these places we make stronger lines. The rest of the lines should be softer, lighter. Please note that wrinkles should always be made lighter than the contour lines of the main facial features. On the surfaces of the face looking down, I'll make a light shadow under the nose, on the upper lip, under the lower lip, on the lower part of the chin, under the chin. Again, not in full tone, just lightly. Now I'll add some stubble above the upper lip and on the chin. And let's finish here. Our portrait sketch is ready. We draw our sketch mainly by the lines. The shadows we used very little, at half strength. The task of simulating volume and depth using shading is not included in our course. It is a separate topic. And how is your drawing? Is it ready? Congratulations on your first try. And now I invite you to try another more complex task. This is a portrait of a young woman. In the portrait of an old man, the wrinkles work as hint, making it easier to tie the face together. In the portrait of the young model, each part of the face is placed in an empty space, therefore it is more difficult to keep proportions. Ready to get started? Then pause the video and try to draw the portrait of a young woman that you see on the screen. Later on I will show my drawing and talk about the points needing attention. Good luck with your drawing! How is your portrait? So let's compare what you did draw with my drawing. I made hair color evenly dark, half as strong as real color, to show that the portrait is of a brunette. On top of this uniform tone, I added lines of the hair strands. So, what are the distinguishing features of this face? The eyebrows are of medium width, the brow gap is less than one eye in width, the outer corners of the eyes are slightly higher than the inner ones. The upper eyelid thickness is uniform. Straight nose with a wide tip and thin wings. The middle of the base of the nose is below the wings. The wings continue at the bottom with a small step. The philtrum is narrow. The corners of the mouth are lowered. The upper lid is thin. The lower lip is quite full. The lower jaw is angular. The chin is wide. The corners of the lower jaw are below the line of the mouth. The face as a whole looks rectangular. These are the most noticeable features that define the character of this face. Did you miss anything important in your version of a portrait? Check it again. So you have finished your first portraits. It was interesting. Next time we will draw a face in profile and there will be some new things too. I wish you happy sketching. See you soon.